What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my unboxing and review of the KOR-FX Haptic Feedback Gaming Vest. My subscribers know that I am a die-hard gaming performance enthusiast. I'm always after the best gaming experience possible, and the KOR-FX vest adds a level of immersion to any gaming session by allowing your body to physically feel what's going on in your game. If a grenade goes off close to you in the game, you'll actually feel the explosions throughout your body. I owe a huge thank you to Msrp, the company making KOR-FX, for offering me the chance to conduct this product review, so I'll link all of their social media pages in the video description as well as the product page for KOR-FX. But without further ado, let's unbox the gaming vest so we can look at the product in depth. Once you open the box, you see the vest itself, and this is just a graphic patch, but I figure you can put whatever patch you want on it, and you feel the sound transducer modules. And here you have the wireless dongle. You have a mini USB cable to USB, 3.5mm to 3.5mm headphone jack, and the module itself requires batteries that unfortunately aren't included in the package. So huge hint, KOR-FX, please include batteries in the next packaging of the vest. And you don't get instructions, you do get a little insert that tells you to go to the product page for your actual quick start. The KOR-FX vest launched from a successful Kickstarter campaign where it reached 245% of its funding goal. The idea behind the gaming vest is to augment your gaming experience beyond just what you see on screen and hear from your speakers. It represents a new level of innovation, and as early interest in virtual reality headsets have shown, gamers want to get a more intense experience than with just a TV or a monitor. The technology behind the KOR-FX is what Msrp calls acousto-haptic technology. The modules do not vibrate, there are no motors. Instead, transducers create directional audio blasts that act as haptic feedback, and your body will literally feel what's going on in the game. Explosion coming from your left in game, you'll feel more feedback from the left. The dongle connects to any 3.5mm headphone or audio jack, so you can actually use this with your phone. Setting up the dongle is really easy. You don't have to use the USB. The USB is only there for power if you don't have batteries. The device doesn't actually connect to any of your computer's software. There's no drivers to download, so right away, that is a huge positive. Because of no software drivers, you're assured of no performance hits while gaming. The line in comes from a headphone 3.5mm jack or any from your sound card. For me, I'm using the 3.5mm out from my Asus Zonar sound card, so sound cards will work with this device. The line out goes to whatever headset you want to use to game with. This knob adjusts the volume of your headset. When configuring the KOR-FX, it is very important that you set your system to output to whatever 3.5mm jack goes into your KOR-FX dongle, and you leave your system volume at maximum. If you have to adjust your volume settings, use this dial. Don't adjust your system volume. This dial adjusts your vest's intensity, and I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion later on over what is the difference between adjusting the intensity on the dongle versus adjusting the intensity on the vest. On the other side of the dongle, you have the on-off switch, so you see the blinking green light. Actually, it's a solid green light because it is paired at the moment, but if you want to set it into pairing mode, just press this. You'll see a rapidly blinking green light, then you press the pairing wireless thing on your vest, and once it turns into a solid green light, you'll know that both of them are paired. So we're good to go in that respect. The vest has 2 more battery compartments that require a total of 4 AA batteries that weren't included with the product. And right away, that is a minor negative about the product in its current state. In this era of lithium rechargeables, fewer and fewer households have a lot of AA batteries on hand. So I feel that it is critical that batteries are bundled with the product. But once you have all your batteries in, the device clicked on even without me hitting the power button. You just Velcro the battery compartments into place. Then I just turn it off by holding off the power button, but turning it on, same idea, just hold the power button for 2 seconds. I already showed you the wireless pairing. The M button cycles between modes 1, 2, and 3. Mode 1 emphasizes bass tones to resonate more from the transducers. Mode 2 emphasizes midtones, and Mode 3 emphasizes high tones to resonate more from the transducer. And like I'll talk about later on in the video, take some trial and error to figure out which setting works best for the game. Holding down the mode button for 2 seconds makes the vest enter test mode, and you can feel the transducers working properly. And if you hold up, you can press up or down to change the balance of the transducers. But instead of doing that, I feel it's a lot better just to shift the vest around on your chest. And speaking of the up and down button, pressing up allows the amplitude of the sounds that are played by the game to be resonated more by the transducers, and pressing down lowers the amplitude of the sounds that are picked up by the transducers. And there is a difference between the intensity setting on the dongle and the amplitude setting on the vest. The amplitude setting adjusts the range of sounds that are picked up by the transducers. Obviously, you don't want to be able to feel people talking, but you want to be able to feel like the helicopter rotors or cars crashing. And the intensity just adjusts how strong the sounds that are picked up get played back by the transducers. To help adjust the vest to your preferred comfort level, there are 2 buttons that the back strap clips into, and you can tighten the back straps that are very stretchy. And on the front, the straps Velcro on, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to put on the vest. So this is the quickest way I found to adjust your vest. Clip the button into place and then put on one side of the vest and see if you like the tightness or the looseness. If you don't, take off the vest and tighten or loosen the strap as needed. Don't bother with trying to reach around and, reach all over the place. You'll just frustrate yourself doing that. So swim into one side at a time and see whether you like the fit. Once you have the straps tightened or loosened to your preferred setting, just put on the vest, find the other strap, and then Velcro it on, and you're done. So all in all, really easy. Once you have the preferred tightness level, putting it on takes no longer than just putting on a regular t-shirt. Well, I thought I'd show you what it looks like from the back. Nothing special. I can't dance. Sorry for those of you who had to see that. I'm giving picture-in-picture commentary with me playing Grand Theft Auto 5 in the background, but a video review doesn't do the KOR-FX justice. The awesomeness of the KOR-FX is verbally indescribable. It's something that you have to feel to believe, but take my word for it, the gaming vest does everything that it advertises. I'm not exaggerating when I say that using the KOR-FX gaming vest led to some of the most immersive gaming experiences I've ever had. If a grenade goes off near you, you'll feel the shockwaves resonate throughout your body. If you shoot a heavy sniper rifle, you'll feel the recoil as a thump coming from the vest. If a car crashes into you from the left, you'll feel more of a force from the left. If you get a head-on crash, you'll feel both sides of the vest. The vest even gives different levels of feedback depending on what surface you drive on. Asphalt produces different feedback than driving on a rocky road or a wooden bridge. Flying in a helicopter allows you to feel the whirring of the rotors. It goes without saying that any game will benefit from the gaming vest. I've already tried a lot of action games and first-person shooters with the vest like Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty, horror games that rely on atmosphere like Alien Isolation, and the Metro series are games that I would like to try next. I imagine the intensity and the scare factor would go up to 11. On console, playing Madden will let you feel it when you get tackled. I could go on about how awesome gaming with the KOR-FX vest is, but you guys still wouldn't get a sense of the effectiveness of the vest from me just talking about it, any more than you can guess how much you'll like a movie from just reading a plot synopsis. You have to see it in action to believe it. Therefore, I'll conclude this video with noting some additional quirks about the product, a discussion of value, and recommendations for potential buyers. It does take a lot of trial and error to find the best KOR-FX configuration for each game. It's just like getting the audio levels for a music track correct for the right genre of music. Obviously, you're going to adjust levels differently from a classical music track than a rap song. For example, you don't want the vest to pick up people talking, but you want to be able to feel vehicle crashes through the vest. You also don't want the feedback too sensitive relative to the game. Car crashes should feel like a low rumble instead of an electric sharp razor, and that comes from trial and error in adjusting the sensitivity on the dongle, not the vest. There is a large amount of personal preference in deciding the best configuration per game though. For me on Grand Theft Auto 5, I use the max amplitude on the vest, level 6 on the dongle, and mode 2 on the vest. For Battlefield 4, I prefer medium amplitude on the vest, level 5 on the dongle, and mode 1 on the vest. Did I say... Yeah, mode 1 on the vest, sorry. Needing to configure settings for each game isn't a negative feature of the product, it's inherent to the design. One resource that could simplify the configuration on the part of the user is if the KOR-FX website lists some recommended starting settings for each game, and then the user could make adjustments from there. There are some modifications to the product that I would make. First, I would add an auto-off feature. During my first gaming session with the vest, I forgot to turn it off. When I came back to the vest 24 hours later, the batteries had already died. Huge disclaimer, I was using cheap batteries. It may have been a fault with the batteries, but an auto-off feature for the vest is a huge priority for future revisions. The overall battery life, at least from my testing, was very poor. Excluding the time that I forgot to turn the game off, over 20 in-game hours of testing, I had to change batteries twice, and yes, I did switch to quality batteries. It may be that I was using relatively intense settings, or maybe I was just unlucky, but the cost of batteries really adds up. My unit didn't come with batteries bundled, which I feel is a minor annoyance. We live in the era of lithium rechargeables, so fewer households will have AA batteries readily accessible. Bundling batteries or investing in a rechargeable battery pack is an improvement to the product that I would make. The build quality of the unit is also on the poorer side. The seams and stitching need to be reinforced, and the straps need to be heavier duty, and the connectors need to be stronger. Even though the gaming vest isn't stressed as much as, say, a controller or a keyboard, gaming peripherals need to handle a lot of stress and the inadvertent abuse that they go under so that they last. What I feel contributes to a slow start to the product reaching mainstream recognition is the price of entry. The MSRP of this product is, wait for it, $150. It is a very hard sell to anyone that's not an enthusiast gamer. I think based on my evaluation of the unit that I received in its current state, an MSRP of $130 is more fair. This is about the price of a premium mechanical keyboard or headset. I feel that many other peripherals take priority over the KOR-FX gaming vest. Having your preferred graphics card, monitor, mouse, keyboard, and headset are what I would consider important foundations to a robust gaming experience, whereas a peripheral like the KOR-FX vest is only auxiliary to your best gaming experience. Look at it this way, you will always use your graphics card, mouse, keyboard, and headset for games, but there may be times that you don't feel like using the KOR-FX vest. Sometimes you don't want a really intense experience, and sometimes you want to have a chill gaming session. For gamers looking into being competitive in esports or MLG, I don't think this peripheral would be the best investment to improving your performance in multiplayer. It could even be distracting. For all gamers, my recommendation is to only consider buying the KOR-FX gaming vest if you are happy with your current setup. And yes, the KOR-FX vest does work on consoles. It works on any music device, like phones and music players, but I think that this would be really overkill to just get a really intense music listening experience out of your iPod. Sorry, I can't dance. In summary, the KOR-FX is one of the most innovative gaming peripherals I've ever reviewed. It changes the way we experience games outside of just seeing and hearing, some things that very few other companies can claim. It is effective in doing everything that it advertises. Every game that I've played has become a deeper and more immersive experience, and games that you thought you were tired of can feel new again when using the gaming vest. A positive feature of the product is that it requires no software drivers or developer support to work. It uses existing game audio to create haptic feedback. Not requiring developer support is a subtle but critical component of a gaming peripheral's longevity. As shown by the Nintendo Wii and PlayStation Move and Microsoft Kinect, any peripheral, no matter how innovative, can lose public interest if the developers don't support it. Fortunately, the KOR-FX works with all games, past, present, and future. As stated above, there are minor changes I will make to the vest to improve its value, but the KOR-FX is an overall outstanding product. Considering performance, utility, and value, I would give the KOR-FX gaming vest a B+ rating. If you're an enthusiast gamer, it may be the final piece your ultimate immersion gaming setup needs. Thank you very much for watching this review. Leave a like rating on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more gaming reviews. My name's David, and I will see you next video.